Hi, nice to see you again. Today we're going to speak about spousal support. A lot of people will come into my office and they'll tell me that they do not think they should be paying spousal support. Although I may agree with them morally, unfortunately the law does not always jive with what is morally correct. Here are some things that you should know about spousal support. The court has the power to require an individual to pay spousal support to their spouse or former spouse. A spouse is defined as two people who are married to each other or were married to each other. For spousal support purposes, a spouse also includes unmarried persons who have cohabitated for a minimum of 3 years or who have lived in a relationship of some permanence for less than 3 years and have a child together. There is no automatic entitlement to spousal support. Generally, though, the courts will find entitlement if one spouse has suffered what we call an economic disadvantage as a result of the assumption of the various responsibilities during the marriage. The most common situation is where a spouse stays home to care for the children and therefore he or she is effectively removed from the workforce while the other spouse is free to pursue his or her career. This is called compensatory spousal support. The other usual basis for a finding of entitlement is need. This is generally accessed by looking at the respective incomes of the spouses. Once entitlement to spousal support is established, the relevant legislation sets out the factors that must be considered, such as the length of marriage or relationship and the rules adopted by each party while they were together. The legislation also set out objectives of spousal support order, such as relieving economic hardship and promoting economic self-sufficiency. The factors and objective I just spoke about in the legislation are open to different interpretation. For that reason, the federal government has enacted the Spousal Support Advisory Guidelines in an effort to provide more certainty and consistency in spousal support awards. We input the relevant factors into the Spousal Support Guidelines software program, and a range of support amounts will be suggested to us, as well as a broad range regarding the duration of the support. Most lawyers and judges will follow these guidelines, and in fact, they're directed to do so unless there are good reasons for diverging from them. Spousal support is one of the most difficult areas of family law. The guidelines have resulted in more consistent results in the recent years. Keep in mind, not every spouse will be entitled to receive spousal support. Over the next couple of days, we're going to talk about child custody and children. That's not all we're going to talk about. Interspersed, we're going to talk about separation agreements. A separation agreement is just a fancy way to say a contract. This is what our end goal is for you, an agreement that settles all of your rights between you and your ex. So, you need to stay tuned.